Have you ever heard of a princess who was so arrogant, so disrespectful, that she dared to insult not just her people, but even the gods themselves? This story will shake you. It is about Princess Ngozi of Umuoko, the princess who urinated in the secret river while the people were fetching water to drink. In the olden days, Umuoko was a great kingdom. The land was fertile, the warriors were strong, and enemies trembled at its name. At the heart of this kingdom was King Obiakor, a ruler feared and respected. But inside his palace, he carried a burden no warrior could fight. That burden was his only daughter, Princess Ngozi. Ngozi was beautiful, yes. Her skin glowed like the morning sun, her eyes shone like stars. But her beauty was poisoned by pride. She disrespected elders, she mocked the poor, she insulted women and laughed at children. Villagers whispered to one another, "This girl will bring trouble one day. The gods will not allow her arrogance to go unpunished." But who dared to confront the princess? She was the daughter of King Obiakor after all. One scorching afternoon, when the sun sat angrily in the sky, the villagers gathered at the sacred river. Women carried clay pots on their heads, men fetched water with calabashes. Children laughed as they splashed at the edges. The river was life. It was where the people found water to drink, to cook, to wash. But above all, it was sacred. It belonged to the goddess of purity. Then came Princess Ngozi. She walked with her maidens, her head lifted high, her steps arrogant, her laughter loud. The moment she appeared, the riverbank grew silent. Women bowed their heads, men lowered their eyes, children froze. Everyone knew the princess was unpredictable. She looked at the women struggling with heavy pots and laughed. "Look at you, strong like goats, yet bending under common clay pots." She turned to the men. "And you call yourselves men, carrying water like women?" Then she pointed at the children. "Dirty, useless things playing in mud. Is this how Umuoko's future will look? Shame." The villagers swallowed their anger, for who dared to answer a princess? But what Ngozi did next froze their blood. She stopped at the edge of the river. She smiled wickedly, and before anyone could guess her intentions, she lifted her royal wrapper, squatted, and urinated directly into the sacred river. For a moment, silence fell like death itself. Women dropped their pots, men gasped, children screamed. Some covered their eyes, others began to cry. The silence broke into chaos. "What abomination is this? She has insulted the river goddess. She has defiled our water." But none dared to touch her. None dared to drag her away. She was the princess, and she stood up proudly, adjusting her wrapper as if nothing had happened. That evening, the whole kingdom buzzed with anger. The news spread like wildfire. Old men clenched their jaws. Women cried out in pain. The elders marched straight to the palace. They stood before King Obiakor, their faces dark with fury. "Your Majesty," they said, "your daughter has polluted our river. She has mocked our gods. She has shamed this land." The king's heart trembled. He knew the river was sacred. It was where their ancestors made covenants with the goddess. To urinate inside it was not just disrespect, it was a curse upon the land. He summoned his daughter. "Ngozi," he said, his voice heavy. "Is it true? Did you insult the sacred river?" But Ngozi only laughed. She raised her chin and replied boldly, "Yes, father, I did it. And what can they do? I am the princess. I am untouchable." The king's heart broke. That night, sleep fled from his eyes. He tossed and turned on his royal bed. At midnight, a thunderclap shook the heavens. Suddenly, a strange woman dressed in white appeared in his dream. Her eyes burned like fire. Her voice shook like the earth. "King Obiakor, your daughter has mocked the goddess of the river. If she is not punished, your land will suffer. Your people will thirst. Your kingdom will know sorrow." The king woke up trembling, sweat running down his face. He tried to pray, but his lips shook. And at dawn, the warning came to life. The villagers ran to the river and screamed. The clear water turned red, red like blood. Dead fishes floated on the surface. A stench filled the air. Women wailed. Children clung to their mothers. The river was cursed. The people gathered again. This time their voices thundered. "King Obiakor, your daughter has destroyed us. The goddess demands justice." The king wept in his palace. He called for his daughter. For the first time, Princess Ngozi's pride melted into fear. "Father, what will happen to me?" she asked, her voice shaking. The elders spoke with finality. "She must be taken to the river. Only then can the goddess be appeased." So they dragged her out. Her maidens abandoned her. The villagers marched her to the riverbank. The sky darkened, thunder rumbled, the wind howled. Ngozi fell to her knees. "Please forgive me," she cried. "I will never disrespect anyone again. I will honor the gods. I will bow before the elders. Please do not let me die." The chief priest stepped forward. He carried a calabash of palm wine, a goat for sacrifice, and white chalk for prayers. He raised his hands to the sky. "Goddess of the river, hear us. We bring before you the one who mocked you. Spare our land, O Mother of Purity." The goat was slaughtered. Its blood spilled into the river. Palm wine was poured. The priest chanted ancient words. Suddenly, the heavens opened. Heavy rain poured down. The river raged and foamed. Lightning flashed across the sky. The people fell to their knees in fear. Then, like a miracle, the water cleared. The red color vanished. The stench disappeared. Fishes swam again. The river sparkled as if nothing had ever touched it. The chief priest lowered his hands. He said, "The goddess has shown mercy." Ngozi collapsed on the ground, her tears mixing with the rain. She realized she had been spared, not because she deserved mercy, but because the goddess had chosen to forgive. From that day, Princess Ngozi was never the same. Her pride vanished. She rose early to greet elders. She helped women in the marketplace. She played with children. She honored the gods. The arrogant princess became the humble servant of her people. And because of her change, peace returned to the land of Umuoko. Now, let me ask you, if you were Princess Ngozi, would you wait until the gods humbled you? Or would you drop your pride before it destroys you and those you love? Because sometimes arrogance does not only ruin a person, it can destroy an entire kingdom.